Hi artists! I know it's been hard to find art supplies at home for making creative projects, but I want you to know that I've been trying really hard to think about things that we might just have around the house when we're trying to make things. And I'm going to challenge you and your family to make a sculpture using any kind of cardboard you can find around the house. You might not know this, but you can make a sculpture without having anything like glue or tape. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go around your house and try to find some cardboard. It can be anything like a small cardboard box that something might come in. Lemmy had some Pocky snacks. This would be a good example. Even a cereal box. This was a giant Cinnamon Toast Crunch box, but if you open it up, you have a really large surface of cardboard to work with. So first, go on a scavenger hunt, try to find some cardboard, and then you are going to need a pair of scissors. If you don't have scissors, you can still try this by tearing the cardboard. So what I mean by that is if you don't have scissors to cut your cardboard, for this you can try to just tear. It won't look exactly the same, but it will work. So get your cardboard and let's hear it. I'm actually going to challenge you to pick one shape to make a sculpture out of. So I am going to cut this cardboard in a way to open it up to give us more room. So find an edge or a seam to cut along, and this will help us to have more space to use our cardboard. And remember, if you don't have scissors, you can try just tearing your cardboard. So now we have more surface area to work with. I'm going to pick a triangle shape. You can do this challenge with any shape. I'm going to pick a triangle because I want to show you how to do this, and I'm going to show you by making a dinosaur. So if you don't have a ruler, you can just freehand a straight line. If you have a ruler, you can use it. But I want you to start with a large triangle shape. And depending on how big your cardboard is, will depend on how much room you have. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So I can show you that freehanding works just as well. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out this large triangle. After you have your large triangle cut, set it aside and go ahead and make two smaller triangles and try to make them even. So what I want you to consider is tracing. So I'm going to just take my pencil here, and I'm going to use this line of the cardboard to act like a line. This is going to be my smaller triangle, and I'm just going to actually trace this triangle, and I'm going to do it in a way that helps save room. Now I have a large triangle and two smaller triangles. Now I want to make a few tiny triangles, and these are going to end up kind of being the scales of a dinosaur. So I'm going to just use the edge of the cardboard here. I'm not going to use a ruler for this, and I'm maybe going to give myself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 small triangles. So now I have one large triangle, two medium, and 5 small. So we're going to do something called a slot when we're going to try to make this turn into a sculpture. So these are going to end up being the base or the legs of our dinosaur. So I'm going to draw two lines. This is for the base. This is the bottom of the dinosaur. And these are going to end up being the legs of my dinosaur. So I also need to draw a line coming down from the top. And I don't want it to go all the way down. And it depends on how tall we want our dinosaur to be. So for example, these are both going to get cut. So if I cut on my lines here, and if I cut on my line here, the way that we attach these is a slotted technique. So the cut that I made here slides right into the cut that I made here, and it creates a base. And you will see that it's still pretty tall right there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and make this line a little bit longer. I don't want to go all the way down to the dinosaur though. So let's try this one. And that looks a little bit more like a base. I might want to make this line a little bit longer to help. This is kind of a trial and error, which means you try some things out and decide if you need it more. This helps it be a little bit more stable and secure. So I'm going to do the same thing on both sides. So I'm going to cut this the same length. And I'm going to try to cut this the same length as well. And the slotted technique, remember, you add both of the cuts together. And you can see that my sculpture is kind of standing up already. So these extra pieces of triangles, these are going to be the spikes along the edge of my dinosaur. So I'm going to move these. So these would just be small little cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my spikes would need a cut on the edge. And you can see once again that the slotted technique works if you just push it right into the slots. So I'm going to take a minute and put these together. Remember, it's trial and error. That's the fun part about being creative at home, is that it might not work the first time. So you try different things to see what can work. So test to see if your sculpture can stand up on its own. If not, you might need to make a few adjustments. If you have things at home like paint or crayons or markers, you can take this apart and you can add some color to those things to turn it into more of a dinosaur shape. I could even cut off the edge of one of these triangles and give my dinosaur a mouth and some eyes. So I'm going to take some time to do that. So my challenge for you is to find some cardboard in your house, practice the slotted technique, and create something that is a sculpture that will stand up on its own. If you want to practice using my triangles to make a dinosaur, you can do that, or you can get more creative and you can build something else. I'm going to show you some other examples as well. I've seen people make houses and buildings and cities and robots using this technique. If you don't have crayons or paint at home, you don't have to decorate. I found a green and red crayon, so I was able to make my dinosaur look a little bit more realistic. Have fun. I hope to see your challenges. Please send me pictures. If you send me a picture, I will make sure to make a fun video with everyone's creations. Thank you. Have fun.